How's it going, YouTube? My name's Elvin Ninja 7, your resident Mistweaver monk, and you're going to be watching me above myself doing a plus 15 Mechagon Workshop on the stream the other day, but I'm going to be talking through what I did. Don't worry, I probably won't be interrupting myself too much because in the stream VOD, I was very quiet. I was very stressed because this is a pretty stressful key, and I had just been in Cinderbrew Meadery for about 3.5 hours, so I was very stressed. So I'm going to click play, and let's just get into it. So at the start of this dungeon, it's it's a pretty simple pool, but you have to be really on top of things to make it simple. So what I like to do is I like to spin this first pool because it does the most damage, and it's enough healing to get the job done, which is typically, if you can get the job done with spinning, then I'll spin if it's better damage. However, you're going to see that we do miss a kick. So what you need to do, if you're going to be doing this, if you're not going to commit like Chi-Ji, your Crackling Jade Lightnings, if you do this, you need to be on top of stuns, kicks, rops, and be ready with your Tiger Palm stacked. That way, in case you do need to drop Chi-Ji, then it'll be ready to blast. But as you'll see here, we are just spinning and being very mindful of the swirlies. That is number one, you cannot get hit by a swirly. Number two, basically, is that you can't let detonates go off. However, for me, I was distracted. I was letting number two be let's do spin damage, and I should have been paying more attention to those casts because I did have Ring of Peace up to stop it. But yeah, a bomb goes off, we lose one person. Not a great start to the key, which in a 15, you're going to see all these little mistakes, they really add up. Your timers are very tough. This dungeon is a bit more forgiving because you can skip some of the dead trash. But yeah, not the best start.
Hey, only one
death
as you see to an explosion, we take that.
Only one death there, that's right. We do take that, Chris. But I am very quiet on stream because it's a very stressful pool. But yeah, like I said, dodge, kick, duck, and dive. No, dodge, kick, and spin if you want to, or if you want to pop Chi-Ji, Chi-Ji's fine to pop. The thing about this boss is you don't really need too many cooldowns. You don't need major cooldowns really. You could get through this boss basically without popping Chi-Ji if you wanted to. So if you need to pop Chi-Ji on that last pack, it's totally fine. So I was really wanting to see if I could, if we do this boss quicker, because I had just tried a 16 of this dungeon, and this boss took forever. But basically, this ground pound is really what you need to heal through. And the other trick to this fight is just staying alive. So when someone gets targeted by Foe Flipper, definitely make sure they are topped enough to where that won't kill them. If you get targeted, you as a monk, as a Mistweaver monk, you can roll double jump to safety if you need to. But for the most part, just dodge bombs. This whole first room is all about dodging bombs, surviving the few damage mechanics. And like I said, that ground pound is pretty lethal. So what I want to be doing is using any Jade Empowerment stacks that I have to heal through that. And that is exactly what I do. Here I pop Chi-Ji because I know I don't really need it for this fight. Might as well just use it early on in the fight so I have it up for the trash after this pack, or after this boss. But yeah, you'll see every ground pound where I have a Jade Empowerment stack available, I'll use it because damage, I had just done a 16. The damage was the issue, so I'm like trying to squeeze in as much damage as I can.
Twice.
Oh yeah, I did something pretty funny before this key, but
came back, did it again.
Yep, Hearthed Out didn't reset the instance like 4 times. My group was laughing at me. So yeah, this boss, super simple. You do want to try to squeeze in as much damage as you can, especially during this downtime where the bot is like stunned. Get as much damage as you can. As a Mistweaver, you do so much damage, especially boss damage. Your 2 targets not like as good as just your pure 1 target. Yeah, you're doing more damage, but it's not like as desirable as your 1 target, but still get as much damage as you can. Try to help even out the damage on these 2 bosses, because if these bosses die at separate times, you as the healer are in for a world of hurt, and so is your whole party. But yeah, just once again, dodging bombs, being very careful about mechanics. Look at how I'm like tiptoeing around these bombs. I do pop Tiger's Lust, but I am not going to roll because I don't want to risk it. I also want to save my roll charges for if I get Foe Flipper, so I can roll and double jump to safety away from bombs, which I think this run I might have accidentally messed up and almost died for. But once again, ground pound happens. I have a Jade Empowerment for it. And I am just stacking up my vitality and then punching and kicking, blasting that dot into these bosses.
Guys. I am so sorry. I am focused up.
You're right. I am extremely tired.
On a freaking mine.
You're gonna see, you know, I joke about that. Every time I talk,
my
someone
Shalen's
dies, and
target
of
too.
course I
That's so
say
tragic.
that. As soon as I start talking my life cocoon, I just don't press it on the guy and he just fully dies. But I think there was more to that. I think he might have like clipped a bomb or something, but I definitely was looking to life cocoon him there. But as soon as I start talking, I am so stressed in these keys. The moment I talk, I make a mistake. And you're going to see that later on in the dungeon. Some pretty funny ones. But yeah, life cocoon him there. Not letting him fall this time. Yeah, basically like Shayloons and Jade Empowerment are the two cooldowns that I cycle for these ground pounds the most. I'm sure once I push up an even higher keys, I'm gonna have to start cycling like Chi-Ji or stacking like Revival on top of those. But yeah, we're just making sure as the healer, I'm just doing what damage I can to the highest health mob, making sure they die evenly.
Goated button in this dungeon.
Yeah, Touch of Death saves this boss, saves at least a tick of damage. If you haven't seen my short that I just made with when I did a key with Metro in this dungeon, go watch it. It is the most clutch Touch of Death you'll see.
I don't know how Metro does it. I don't know either. Tanking is stressful.
Now, this pack is terrifying, especially as you start pushing up into higher keys. Like anything above a 12, you're going to see these big waste units. Groups will start to double pull these, and these guys are terrifying. So the build that I'm running in this video, I'll have a link to, or I'll have a copy string to in the description. It's my standard Mythic Plus build, except I'm running Jade Bond for pools like this. I need bigger, juicier Chi-Ji to heal through these double Mega Drills, and it's terrifying. One thing also to note that you can start doing as a healer, and you absolutely should start doing, is, oh man, shout out to Jade Bond there. We definitely would have died to that corrosive gunk. Dot if I hadn't have had like Revival and Jade Bond. But anyways, one thing that you should start doing on these packs is save your stuns
right as that Mega Drill's about to start.
Like I'm saying on the stream, save your stuns and your CC for when Mega Drill happens, because if those casts go off during the Mega Drill, that's when they're scary. But those corrosive gunk heal absorbs aren't really too terrifying outside of the Mega Drill, so definitely make sure you're stunning those during the Mega Drills. There, my tank almost falls. I had to use a lot to save them. These packs here, as the tank is gathering, can surprise your tank. Especially when you're double pulling like this. We had to pull the patrol so that we can hopefully skip this third Mega Drill guy up ahead. But yeah, as you see these corrosive gunks, I'm not even paying attention to them because they are very non-threatening unless they're coupled with that Mega Drill. Then they are scary. Big scary. The next scary pack, though, so the double Mega Drill pack is terrifying. The next scary pack here, even as a Mistweaver Monk, is these dogs. So I'm very scared. I'm trying to prep up my cooldowns. I'm trying to save up my stuff for these dog pools because, yeah, if you let that dot stack up, it gets brutal and terrifying. So I am kind of regretting using my Revival right about now, because having Revival up at this moment, even saving it that whole hallway or corridor there with all these drills, is so nice. So I'm kind of, honestly, I'm a little bit happy that we ended up pulling this third waste unit, because it gives me time to, you know, get my Revival cooldown back, because Revival is just such an amazing cooldown here. But once again, I am just countering the Mega Drill with cooldown, so either Chi-Ji or some combination of two of like Shayloons plus Crackling Jade Lightning, or Shayloons, well, I'm sorry, or double Shayloon, double Crackling Jade Lightning, yeah. So you want to stack up things to deal with that Mega Drill, because that's really the only damage. But here, let's see how many dogs we pull. We pulled the 3-pack. Yeah, I don't have Revival, so I'm a little bit scared. I think our tank saw that and decided not to pull this left pack until it was a little good. And you see here, this tank is fantastic and staggered pulling the 3 dog packs. In your PUGs, you might see some tanks not be that smart, and they might pull them all at the same time. But you see here, I have plenty of time between the dogs to dispel. And since I have Jade Bonded Chi-Ji, since my Chi-Ji is so juiced up and lasts a long time, I'm able to basically let one dot stack sit on people until they get a second one, and then I can dispel the second one. But you see there, I just survived an entire dot stack, even after using my diffuse magic to get rid of one. So yeah, as a monk, you have so many tools, and still it's terrifying. But you see there, the shaman gets 2 stacks. I dispel him, and then the other person that gets a stack, I just heal through it. And that's kind of what you have to do. So having big cooldowns here is important. You see here, a lot of stacks out have Revival. Come on, Chris, Revival it. What am I doing? Oh, that would have been a beautiful revival there, but yeah, I definitely should have revivaled. Multiple people had a stack and one person had 2 stacks. So that should have definitely been a revival there. But yeah, this moment here, this is kind of like, to me, one of the like secret scarier pools. And you see there, I do revival once 2 people get a stack. So I'm a bit behind, don't really have too much in the tank. I mean, I guess I do have Shayloons and a Crackling Jade Lightning, but not too much in the tank. Also, stunning these dogs does help delay their casts. Same with like Ring of Peace. I don't think Ring of Peace stops their dot anymore, so I kind of, ever since it stopped working, I stopped using it. But see here, 2 stacks is so much to heal through. I'm basically healing until either it falls off or my detox comes off cooldown, and there, barely got detox. But yeah, that pack is scary, so trying to save your cooldowns for the dog packs is very crucial for this dungeon. This boss is very similar to the last boss, but with a twist. Yeah, he does so much more damage at a time, but you have a lot of time to top your group up. Look at this. We have like, what, 15 seconds to top people up, and especially now that we're hiding. My group is the kind of people, the kind of min-maxers that is peeking around the corner, getting more damage in. I don't do that. I play it super safe because I've tried doing that with even the weak aura that tells you when you're safe, and it failed me. So you don't necessarily need to use a cooldown every time you dispel the tank. However, I try to always do that because it just makes the fight feel so much safer. See, everyone's at full health before the next one comes out, but you see, you really don't need to. You could just punch and kick and heal up everyone and hot up when you're hiding behind the box, and it's totally fine. The only thing that I do, if you do that, if you decide not to use a cooldown for the dispel, like if I were to just like raw dog this dispel, then when the dog jumps around, when the boss jumps around, it's advised, I would advise it to, or advise you to use Crackling Jade Lightning for this. Crackling Jade Lightning is fantastic to deal with that leap mechanic because the way Ancient Teachings heals, which is how your Crackling Jade Lightning heals, is it also heals the amount of people that need healing. So if only one person took damage, they're going to get all 2,500% of that damage as healing times 1.9. So it's going to be a lot of healing. And then so the first person gets jumped on, they get a big chunk heal because they're the only ones missing health. And then the boss jumps to the second person, it starts splitting between 2 people, still pretty big. And then the boss jumps to the third person. By then the first 2 are basically healed up. And so it's just a really good button to press, a really good way to heal through that leap mechanic. You see here, this is a moment where I am not using much cooldowns to deal with the dispel. Right now that we're hiding, I'm applying some hots, and my base kit healing is basically enough to heal everyone up before the next dispel. So very non-lethal boss if you're smart with your cooldowns. Very non-lethal. Even in these high keys, just make sure, I would argue it's probably more advised to get into a habit of using a cooldown before the dispel comes out than after, because making sure people are, I shouldn't say that, it's not like a blanket statement, but it's advice for, you know, it might help one of you, but making sure that everyone's topped up before you dispel is more important than yeah, I'm saying watch out for that dog. It's more important than topping them up instantly after you dispel, if that makes sense. But here we have a Warlock, so it makes it super easy. Watch how he just RP turns around. That's so funny. But Warlocks make my life so much easier in this dungeon, but in many different ways. One of them is getting to skip this sequence. But now we've made it past Kujo. The bosses really start to amp up. The mechanics in this dungeon really start to amp up. And I'm excited to talk about these little creepy crawly big mini boss things. But first we have this pool with the shorts. He's out of his shorts? I don't know, but really trying to use Ring of Peace and like para, you know, our ranged CC mechanics when you walk up to this pack to kind of help your tank save his bigger CCs and his more important CCs, and also you don't have to roll in and kick it and risk getting aggro and stuff. So that's what I do, and then outside of that, it's really just a matter of you don't necessarily have to kick every cast here, even in this key level. I'm sure like in a higher key level. But if someone is missing any amount of health and you see another cast going into them, I would definitely kick that cast. Or if you see both casts are going into the same person, that's a great time to leg sweep. But for the most part, this pack doesn't need too many cooldowns. I generally use my Jade Empowerment on this pack because it just helps you kill it quicker and get to the juicier stuff where you actually do need cooldowns.
Welcome into my
Hey,
stream of
Jimbo.
silence while I think about what I'm doing.
Yeah, I literally
Other
haven't
streams
said
and videos, you
anything.
got me to
I don't know
love
why
getting-
people
watch
were
videos,
watching
quite
me
a lot
stream.
love from Australia. Wow, thank you so much for
Yeah,
the support, Jimbo.
very
That's
quiet
cool.
on the stream.
It's cool how
But
much
this
reach we're
guy's actually
gaining.
scary.
Maybe
So
one day we'll have
I
someone from
don't
every
use
country come
Chi-Ji
in and
on
say
this
they
mob because I
watched
do
our
like it on the
streams.
next mob. But you see, these arcing zaps are a problem. So I kind of handle these like the dogs or like Cinderbrew's first pack. I dispel the first one on another person, and I always diffuse magic the first one on me. If 2 DPS get the first set, then you just like dispel one person and then just spot heal the other one. You can even life cocoon the other person that gets it if that short out's about to start, because you know they're going to take a lot of damage during that. But dispel early, dispel often, be aggressive with your diffuse magics there on this pack. And yeah, it goes down in no time, but those short outs you need to be paying attention to, especially later on in the dungeon. These Blastotrons, these guys are very difficult,
from the
especially the double
Netherlands.
pull
What is up,
later
Cleo?
on. But
the
you're going to
Netherlands. I
hear
wanna visit
me
the Netherlands one
talk a
day.
lot more about those guys later on
Here
in the
it's just,
dungeon
like,
on the double pull.
Beautiful.
But for the most part, it's your base healing can almost raw heal one. It just needs a little bit of help. So you're going to see me every time that I kind of get stationary. If everyone's sitting at about like 70% health or a little bit lower, then I'll drop a cooldown. But you see, I always save Chi-Ji for this pool just for the start of it. But you don't really need it. You can basically just punch and kick, and then once people rot down a bit, you can use like Crackling Jade Lightning to finish or to top them back up. This is kind of like, it reminds me of the old Halls of Infusion third boss. You know, you just kind of like have to be a little okay with people rotting a bit, unless you want to pop a big cooldown like Chi-Ji, like I like to. But you see there, I'm being very careful. The moment that I can move to safety, I'll plant and channel. You kind of have to be really smart about your casts, like Shayloons and your Jade Empowerments, because yeah, you don't really get too much time to just stand still on that fight. So just be really smart. Definitely prioritize surviving and dodging the frontals.
I'm panicking on the inside.
Yeah, I'm talking about panicking on the inside
actually,
and
like, my heart is pounding.
instantly die.
That's why I'm so quiet, because I'm like, oh, I'm stressed out.
But yeah, I had just done a bunch of Cinderbrews, like Cinderbrew 14. I was trying to get that timed before this 15. And I don't know what it is. I mean, I know exactly what it is. Cinderbrew is stressful to heal, and Blizzard needs to like do something about it. But after trying Cinderbrew for multiple hours in a row, my anxiety was through the roof, guys. I hope that none of you deal with anxiety, but mine like sits in my chest, and it was really getting to me. And that's why I'm so quiet on this stream. And this was my last key of this stream, so
stressed to the max on the inside.
like I was saying, I'm stressed.
Outside, get some fresh air, drink a lot of water.
All right, this pack is very
Take a
similar to the
nap.
one that we just talked about, where you kick the casts that are lethal. So kick the casts that are going at the same person, or the ones that are going towards someone missing any amount of health at all. If someone's at 80% health and they have a cast coming their way, kick that, you know? But spend as much time in these shield generators as you can. However, I see a lot of people trusting them, but there was a prime example of why you should not trust them for the squirrels, because it might visually look like the shield is there, but the shield might be fading as that squirrel cast goes off. So definitely don't sit in those shields and think you're okay during the squirrels. Now, this boss I think is very easy, but it's super stressful because these mechanics that you have to dodge really start one-shotting at this level. So super stressful, and you might see someone get clipped by a beam, or maybe I think that was the 14 that I did to this dungeon. But the beam almost one-shots if they only get clipped once, but if they get any more stacks than just one, they're basically dead. But I try my hardest to reserve Life Cocoon for if anyone gets hit by the beam on this boss. Because every now and then people will get hit by a blade, like one of the little spinning gears. It doesn't necessarily one-shot, but it's not
The goal on this boss
as
is to come out of
lethal.
it with Chi-Ji.
Yeah,
You
I'll
do
talk about that in a
it's
second.
W.
But you can throw a Vivacious Vivification on them, and they'll be just fine if they get hit by one of the gears, or you can expel harm yourself if it's you. Like there, the Death Knight got hit by one, just slapped a Vivify on it, or maybe it was just the plant that was doing damage. But my goal in this fight is number one above all, is I want to come out of this fight with as much cooldowns or as many cooldowns as I can. That is #1 goal. So if I can hold on to Chi-Ji, that is a must. I definitely want to try to hold on to Chi-Ji, which good news is this boss doesn't really require much cooldowns. There's not many things that do damage outside of avoidable stuff. So definitely hold on to Chi-Ji if you can get away with it. Same with Revival, it can really help. Other than that, you can basically throw Shayloons out since it's so low recharge rate. Throw out your Jade Empowerment stacks. I use a Jade Empowerment stack on this plant every single time. That's just how I like to take this boss down. I like to use my my Vitality. I just rolled into 2 wheels.
Oh my goodness.
What am I doing?
Right through that. Where's that res?
Right through that. Tell him, Chris. But anyways, I like to use my Thunder Focus Tea, my Vitality Aspect Dot on the boss to help melt it down quicker.
The stress is getting to
and then
me.
I like to use my Crackling Jade Lightning, my Jade Empowerments on the plant. And I think that's just a really good way to do damage, because if you did it vice versa, if you use your Jade Lightnings on the boss and your dot on the plants might die before you get your full duration of the dot, so I kind of like to be smart about that. So you see someone there got hit by a cog or a wheel or a blade, whatever you want to call it, and I just instantly life cocoon them because I'm like, okay, do not want to lose another person. But you're about to see me come into probably the hardest pool in, I wouldn't say this whole dungeon cycle, but one of them. It's definitely one of them. Come up to this pool and I don't have food buff. So yeah, you see me there. I'm saving Jade Empowerment, saving my Shayloon stacks. I held on to Chi-Ji that entire fight because the only thing that really does damage is the plant.
Oh man, that doesn't.
I have a Revival. I have everything. So watch this pack. The trick to this pack is you want to commit cooldowns early. Commit your biggest stuff like Chi-Ji early. You see here that damage half healths everyone every single tick because both of these spider tanks are going off. So commit Chi-Ji on pool. I even commit Fort Brew on top of my Chi-Ji so that my Chi-Ji funnels more of its healing into the other 3 health bars to move health bars quicker. And it's so much damage coming out. So, like I said, commit your biggest cooldowns early because you see here, since I went Jade Bond, Chi-Ji lasted almost the entire duration of that first spider tank's health. And then on top of that, do not be afraid to layer in other cooldowns. So I could have pressed Revival, like after, if I felt stressed in that pool, I could have pressed Revival if I wanted to.
Converted a Prime sub into a tier 1.
Shout out MCS Power.
Before, but hey, I appreciate it.
Big shout out. But I could have committed more there. But I'm kind of surprised I didn't really need to.
I need to get it just for my own health.
1 Jade Empowerment,
I'm really considering
Chi-Ji,
going to see like a heart specialist or something.
Shayloons, that was enough. But yeah, I was saying there, I'm like so stressed. My chest
really
hurts.
bad.
But this pool's kind of similar, except instead of constant rot, you have both of these defense bots do big bursts and they're short out. So you need to be smart about your dispels. Dispel once again early and often. Try to kick those Giga Wallop casts if you can, or stun them or something, and then short out you always want to be ready for. So this is a very busy pool. You see me, there's constantly something that I need to be doing. I need to either be healing a short out, dispelling there. I almost took a fall to a Giga Wallop. If there was a short out there, I would have definitely been dead. But also I'm holding on to Revival in case I need it for, like if there's a dot going out during the short out. There I was under 2 shields and I still didn't trust it. Because I've had those shields lie to me in the past. So just using Crackling Jade Lightnings, using like a Shayloons. I popped a Revival there for a Dispel and a Short Out. It's very tough pools because of the variety of things that's happening. So trying to find ways where you can use 1 cooldown to deal with 2 mechanics is amazing here. And that is why I think Revival is great for this pack. If you can save it on the spider tanks, using it here is great. Because it heals and it dispels. So we plan on skipping this. This pack is very similar to multiple packs we've already seen before, but it's just the Giga Wallops mixed with the spiders, mixed with the defenders. It just takes so long. Doesn't give you many percent. Same with those short out guys, but luckily in this high key, we do get to skip those. So the tank pulled those guys down. Shadow melded. Since we did a skip, I'm checking to make sure I can still eat my food because that tells me if I'm in combat or not, just to make sure. But here on this boss, it is pretty simple. Just dodge the balls. And you can kind of... Sometimes the balls trick you. If you're looking one way and one is going behind you where you're not looking, it can get a little iffy. So you try to always make sure your field of vision can see everything. Can see the whole line of a ball and where they're shooting. So luckily here we have heavy melee and our ranged are standing kind of close to our melee, at least one is. So most of the balls are kind of staying compact, so it's making it a lot easier. But this first part of the dungeon, or this fight,
and again, I did that last time,
he'll beam one person. All I do is I just soothing miss that one person, because that's literally the only damage coming out during this phase, is just heal that one person, dodge balls. You see, it's me, I pop a defensive, and we're good to go. Pop diffuse magic, we're fine. But yeah, heal that one person, soothing miss them to give them your little bit of elusive mist mitigation, and then just punch and kick between the beams. And then you'll see he does this mechanic every now and then where he gets up and starts pounding the ground. Just oh gosh,
treating you.
Saucy J just joined my chat in the VOD. He's gonna make a joke, but he's gonna do this where he just channels damage and pounds. I use my crackling jade lightnings during this, and I also just soothing mist. I play this fight kind of slow, kind of carefully, but it's because I know we have plenty of time. But normally you would have to be using your crackling jade lightnings for that to get some damage in during that downtime, since you can't really be in melee. But here I'm just holding on to them for when there needs to be healing done, and I'll let them rip when I can. But this phase is very easy. It's just spot healing. It's a little bit of AoE healing during this.
Man, but I have a bone to pick with you. Oh, here we go. Go ahead,
Saucy J, about to give me the sauce.
That bull crap. Let's hear it. What have you cooked up for today? Dang, it really sucks that I got hit by that. Right before
unfortunately, yeah, I got the last beam, but luckily all damage is paused during this. But I like to try to apply hots
without my permission. You had to get called out. It was a roast.
If y'all haven't seen
Comedy Central style, had to hit you with it.
He's talking about a skit video I made. He's saying I made it about him, but no, I made a skit.
Away with your behavior.
Sorry, this style video is probably very chaotic now that I'm thinking about it. I'm basically talking twice. But I made a skit video. You see here, I'm kind of risky with the balls, but I knew exactly where they were coming from, so I was in a very risky spot. But you see, I'm always trying to find the safe spot as close to the boss as I can, because that's when you can see like nothing can be on the other side of you. So you're cutting off 180 degrees of yourself or where balls can go. So if you hug the rim, hug the ledge, it's a little risky because you literally can fall off. But the balls are so much easier to dodge here, and it makes punching and kicking and casting and staring at health bars like all good healers should. It makes it a lot easier because, yeah, like I said, you don't have to worry about things surprising you because they're going out of your field of vision. You can see everything because they can only come to the rim there. Hopefully that makes sense, but...
Oh, please don't kill me.
Yeah, definitely check out my video. It's a skit.
Sometimes
it's about
you
PUGs.
Just gotta close your eyes and cross traffic, but in the game. Not in real life.
In the game. But definitely check out my video. It's the PUG morning routine. So I made a funny morning routine video that all PUGs do. Uh-oh, here I get clipped by
no clue how
another
that didn't
beam,
hit
or maybe
me. I was clearly in that.
I have no idea how that didn't hit me, but I was ready with my defensives. I popped Fort Brew and was ready to pop diffuse too. But yeah, I think maybe the orb, maybe the ball body blocked it. But this is the phase that does a lot of damage, so I always try to save my cooldowns for this phase. You see there, I used Shayloon's gift, and it basically topped everyone. You don't need to get everyone fully topped for the full phase. Just top them up about halfway through, and it makes them safe enough to survive the whole phase. And then now they make it into this phase healthy enough to survive the beams.
Really stressing me out.
Yeah, all this is just punch and kick, hug the wall, make it to where you can see everything around you, and then just be safe. Be very careful of the orbs. Be very careful, and you can slam this boss easy. Here, I just know that the two to my left are going that way, so nothing else is coming to this side of them, so I can just stand right there in that safe spot. Trust me, standing on the rim makes this very easy. Yeah, like I'm saying in the VOD, I have not been targeted by the beam a single time, so I've been kind of lucky in that regard. But really, I'm unlucky as the healer. It's making my life harder that I'm not getting to use my defensives for the beam. So I don't know what happened. I don't know why I didn't get targeted by the beam a single time in this pool. But you know what? Here we are. We made it. Yeah, definitely check out my short on this boss.
If you tempt me, buddy. You're not
yeah,
safe.
for real.
You're not
but
safe.
King Mechagon about to fall. This dungeon is super fun. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this. me talking through some of the more stressful pools. Some of the pools in this dungeon are pretty
goodness.
non-stressful. But yeah, some
Hey,
of the pools are
companion.
very stressful. Yeah, I got a free companion there, but hopefully you guys enjoyed this. If you want more videos like this, maybe not this style again, but if y'all want more about me kind of talking through a certain dungeon, let me know what dungeon down below. I've already made a Rookery and another one. Dark Flame, maybe? Maybe it was Dark Flame. I don't know, but I've made 2 so far, so if you want to see another one like this, I'm starting to time some 15s. I've got 3 under my belt so far in all PUG groups. I'm also looking for 16s of the easier dungeons like Dark Flame. So those videos will come soon, but if you want me to talk through them like this, if you like the style of kind of like 2 versions of me, one of me just sitting there silent from my stream the other day, let me know. Let me know what you guys think. But guys, thank you so much for the support. Make sure you like the video on your way out. Make sure you're subscribed. I got fun videos planned for you guys, so don't miss those. Make sure you see those when they're posted, so make sure you click that free button. It is free. Click the subscribe button. Click the like button. I'll see you guys in the next one. Until then, take care, guys.